Started with Mr. Blues, great Mr. Blues. I know we started the sound system in 1962, August 1962. And we started with, it was three of them, can't remember the guys' names, but one of them was Lee Morris. Yeah, I know that for a fact, which is my godfather, which is now passed away as well. We started in 1962, as I says. Started with a duplicitone amplifier. Back then, 20 watts it was. 20 watts. That was the powerfulest amplifier around you could buy in those days. And started with couple of bass boxes, some Tanai speakers, which are the top classic speakers of those days.
Where did you used to play those where was the sound?
Where they used to play those days, I think it was Rendezvous, and more house parties. There wasn't really dancehall in those days. There wasn't no places to keep no dancehall. So
was Rendezvous the only club?
Yeah, Rendezvous. I understand was at those days was the only big enough place to play sound system in the early '60s, as far as I know. But apart from that, it was only in a house, in houses, okay, where black people used to congregate and the music used to play.
What age did you get involved in the sound system?
What year I got involved? Well, I've been involved in sound system ever since I born. Since I born, I was in sound system. I born up with it in my house.
So your early memories of
So my early memories of sound system was from about when I was really know what's going on, from about 8-9 years old. I started to know about sound system, what it's about, amplifier. Because those days my dad was using, we stepped up with using valve amplifiers, 400 watts valve amplifiers, and we had a piece of 600 valve amplifiers. That was the main basis of the sound back in those days from coming up. So my days of learning stringing up those kind of sound systems was from about 10 years old.
Okay, so
I was going to learning my trade, as I say.
So what sound systems were around at them times? Who do you remember being around when you was about?
Yeah, well, growing up, because I'm aware of what's going on now, and my family, Birmingham, Quaker City, Paxton was a family thing. So we would all get together as a when I was growing up as a youth. Every so often, every couple of months, we would meet up. Like I'd go with my dad, and we'd meet up with Cox and Quit, and they would all sit down, and me and all the boys of those, my dad, Quaker's son, we would all sit down and play the sound in the garage or wherever it may be, because those times they had their businesses, so the sound would be strung up in the garage. So we would just go and play the sound, just in the garage, just learning, just playing the sound, as a young lad, learning it, So yeah, those were my experiences growing up, learning sound system.
So obviously it's a different planet to how it was now, before the downloads and internet. So where did the music come from?
Well, those days there, as I says, they used to get their music straight from Jamaica on a reel, on an old tape reel. Those days there, and they used to just take their tunes off and cut the tunes what they wanted off of the reel. Cause Cox and Dad in Jamaica would send them tune. See, I've even got papers where, from the old newspapers, what they used to wrap it up in. I've still got them today, where they used to mark and send what tunes are on this, on the reel to reel. So they used to just take off what they want, exclusively. Even some of those commercial tunes, but they used to have them like 3-4 months before they'd even come to England. They was playing certain tunes, the ska beat tunes, and coming up from that kind of era. So tunes was no problem to those man there.
So from your perspective, what made Mr. Blues stand out from other sounds that was playing around at the time?
That time there, it would. Well, obviously it was the record scene, because he was playing tunes where no man didn't have yet. Man would wonder where is this guy getting these records from. You know, because many stories where man used to stand up against Mr. Blue Sound and try teeth in records. God didn't want to know, well, what is this record? You know, where's it come from? Because I used to have to scratch out the label sometime. If it wasn't on a wax dub, you know, it was a 45, then you used to scratch out the label so you couldn't see what that record was. You know, you'd only hear it, and you probably hear that record only once in your life and not hear it again. You know, that's how exclusive the tunes were, what they was getting back then in the early days.
So you got influenced by your dad, your family, the Coxon and so forth. At what age, at what time did you say, I want to do this, I want to be a sound mentor?
But that's always been there, you know. That's always been there. Sound system is that thing where it's in the blood, it's in your heart. You know, it's something where, why? It's something to explain. It's in your heart. Nothing can describe what sound system means to me. You know, just playing a song just means everything to me in life. I sleep with my song. You know, it's my life. You know, it's my life. Can't think of anything else. Eat, drink, and sleep. Sound system up to this day.
I know it's a bit personal, but let's try and talk about the passing of your dad and how it affected you. And then you said, he's passed the baton on to me now. We have to run with it. We have to keep it in the family. We have to make his name live on.
Well, that time for me was a hard time when my old man passed. 1987, the 12th of July, 1987. That's a day I'll never forget. Obviously, yeah. And my dad died. We died doing what he loved. Yeah, cause we was in London, getting our new preamp. That's what we was ordering when it all happened, you know, when I came home alone, you know. We was in London, he just had a heart attack, and that was that, yeah. So the baton just passed on to me from that. Yeah, moving on, took me and my dad was too close, you know, my best friend. You know, never mind my dad, he was my best friend. So it took me like 2 years just to even come out of my house, to get my head around it. Nearly walked in front of a bus, which many people don't know. Nearly wanted to take my own life, you know, cause I couldn't get over the pain, you know. Couldn't get over that pain, you know, what it did. But you know, everything is for a reason. Jah works. You get me? Everything is for a reason. So you know, and I took the baton up after that. I had some dates. What I fulfilled when he died. I fulfilled those dates because the people still wanted the sound to be played at those venues what he had booked at that time. So I still fulfilled those dates, short the sound, and just went for it, and I haven't looked back since.
Okay. Now I'm going to focus on you, Junior Blues, yeah? So if you mention the man then, Dark, Pee Wee, Zara, everybody, yeah? So when would you say that era started with the Junior Blues as we know it, as we knew it in the early 90s?
In our era. Junior Blues started then in our era from 1989, where I got myself back together. My friends was all around me. Larry, Zara, Janitor, Federal, Leslie, you know, we all come together and said, well, we're gonna make a go of this thing, and we progressed from there, from 89, 90s, played all over the place, you know, all over the country, doing our thing, and yeah, we're still there. The man them is not around the sound now, but they're all there still. But yeah, the sound is progressing to the third generation now.
Okay, so 89, 90, let's talk about some of the sound. Mention some of the country, Skully, some of the other people that had set at the time.
At that time, yeah, you had many songs around the place, didn't you? Well, we miss out that era still because we miss out culture, and you had Skully, and you know, you had the rest of the little sound them about the place, but those were the main contenders at that time. Viking still was there, but in our era, I would say it would be Skully, and you know, really as the top sound in that era. He was my kind of mentor as a bigger man to me, You know what I'm saying? So we didn't kind of watch what he was doing, but we have it in our style. But as a bigger man, we would say, well, Skully, you know what I'm saying? He was there.
The Leicester scene, the sound system scene at them days, how vibrant was it? What was going on?
The Leicester scene at those days, well, you had a few songs, but I mean, Leicester would not been blessed with that many songs. But the ones what we had, we always used to battle, like in my era, it was more country and junior blues battling out. Or I used to play more out of town sounds, V-Rocket back in the day. You know, I was playing sounds like that more time. I wasn't really playing much Leicester sound. I was playing more out of town sounds all the time. You know, I was playing in Derby. We was playing all over the place. Sheffield, Bradford, Huddersfield. Junior Blues was playing in those kind of places, all over the place, battling sounds from those kind of areas. It wasn't really Leicester songs. We was playing only really country. We would say we was playing against who we had an enemy against in a song. We're friends, but we are sound enemy. You know, so this was our real battle down here. We didn't really have any battle from anywhere else. Coming back into the new era now, we changed our way because the sound system had changed. DJs start to rap DJ on the sound, and you know, we have our DJs, we have DJ competitions where someone would set up DJ competitions, like my friend Skully would set up DJ competitions. So if you see which sound have the best DJs and that, so we won all of those competitions in Leicester. Like the three main cups, we won them all. Junior Blues win them all. So, and that made us progress to get dates of out of town with other sounds, bigger sounds. So it moved us on in a way still. You know, it moved the sound on forward.
How would you say the sound system scene has changed from when you first got into it until now?
Wow, massively. Over the years, sound system changes all the time. I remember we're influenced from things what happened in Jamaica with sound system. No matter where we are, well I am. They're influenced by what they do because at the time, as I say, it was DJing and sound, and then suddenly we find that man's not DJing on sound no more, man's doing it on a record. You know, the man's putting it on a record instead, and you're just having a 3-man, 2-man playing the sound system. So the sound system will change with no one bag of DJ chatting down the sound. It's all going onto records, and more DJ, more entertaining for the people, I would say. It changed in that way. Because it was a more raw format before that, in my view. The sound system was more about the bass and the treble and the sound, how the sound system was playing. But then it moved over, the change moved over where it's just a 1-man playing or 2-man playing tunes on record. You know, 2 turntables, because remember those days it was only 1 turntable. So now man's changed over, man's using 2 turntable and disc jockeying more DJ friendly, shall we say. More in the sound system's changed to more friendlier than just more rugged than how it was. So in that respect, sound system has changed leaps and bounds.
Is there any songs that you wouldn't play on the sound that you could consider too vulgar, too nasty, too slack, or spreading the wrong message?
In this day and age, no. Because it's just entertainment. Yeah. If you can't look at when music hits you, you feel no pain. So if you can't disclose what a man is saying and puts it into a context, then you shouldn't be listening to reggae music. Yeah, you shouldn't be listening to it. Yeah, because reggae music is a diverse music. Sometimes man talk about gun, man talk about girls, and you know, probably the way they do say it nowadays, it's just a generation thing. It's just a modern thing.
So if we look at back in the days when your dad was into the sound system, all his peers, the music was on about love and spiritual and conscious.
Yeah, consciousness. Yeah.
How do you think they would react to some of the lyrics that was being played today? Do you think they would have played the songs?
No. Well, definitely not. Well, Mr. Blues these days, if he was around, he wouldn't be playing none of them Vibes Cartel or anything like that. You wouldn't go on our sound. You wouldn't be able to swear, even on the mic, for instance, because it's the way the industry has gone these days. To me, you even have to swear on the mic these days for the reaction to the way certain tunes are, what they're talking about. You know, you have to, you know, to make the people understand. Sometimes you have to go with the tune what you're talking about. You understand? So sometimes you may have to swear. You know, it's the way the sound system has changed, the way the music has changed. You know, it's a modern thing. You know, you just have to keep with the modern thing. It's ever changing, just like you get old every day.
So Junior Blues special memories, some of the dances, some of the venues, some of the places.
Special memories, well, a lot of my memories are in the Caribbean Workshop, in Spectrum, in Luca. Special dances, what I particularly play at, what I've played at. I remember I played shotgun at the Workshop, was an experience and a half. Playing in Spectrum with Willie Pat, so many sounds, Cox, so many, you know. It's a joy.
Okay, the next thing, say at one point, Leicester was a vibrant place where sound used to come to Leicester. Remember our Shabba coming Spectrum on our service?
Yeah, that was our dance, yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, that was our dance.
So let's capture that. Who don't know, let's get them to know.
Okay.
Junior Blues' influence in the city.
Okay, that was 1989, I think that was, or 90, early 89, 90, yeah, we bought, Shabba was the Dan of the DJ world, and we bought Shabba to Spectrum. But at the time, people of Leicester didn't think such a big artist would come to Leicester, would even know about Leicester. But we brought Shabba to Leicester, and we had a good night with it. It was Junior Blues and Javice from London, and Turning Point from Luton, and one more sound, Sovereign. Yeah, we had a great night that night. Yeah, that's it. Shabba Ranks was one of our big nights. We had as youths coming up, because we was only we wasn't even 20.
I'm sure you came to the Blues as well, didn't you?
Yeah, we brought him to the Blues. Yeah, we had him for the whole day. Yeah, we had him for the whole day. Yeah, we took him to we had him for the Blues. Yeah, we also had Roddy Ivy on that day as well. Roddy Ivy was Shabba's sparring partner at those times there. We also had him there. He was just scouting around, you know, with him on the day. He didn't really do any lyrics on that day, but he was there present. Okay. You know, a few artists there was there present on that day. Mikey General was also there on that day as well.
So obviously you've been in the sound system for a long time. Sound system. Not all of the experiences are good. There must be a few bad experiences you can share with us.
I wouldn't say I've had any bad experiences in sound system, but no man ever turned me over, I can say. And yeah, man can get the body of you sometimes. One night, I can say, for instance, I was playing Skippy and Lippy one night, and he had the crowd mad, absolutely crazy.
Championship.
Yeah, him have the dance absolutely crazy. Not that night as well, man. And everybody has said to me the night, Junior Blues, what you going to do? You get me? What are you going to do? Cause at the time it was like Jack Radix was like one of the main man them are sing. Everybody want Jack Radix and where. You know, so him did a bust out the whole of Radix tune, and the dance was going on mad crazy. And everybody has said to me, Junior Blues, what you going to do? What you are going to play? How you going to catch about this? So, don't worry, everything is alright, you know. But funny enough, my friend had just come back from Jamaica. One of my friends, big up, God rest him soul, and dead now. He bring back some tune and bring me back a 45, a some boy 45 with Jack Radix, and he said there's only 20 copies, and he gave me one. You know, he gave me one, and I used that tune there. I just took that one tune that night and turned around the whole situation in that dance. You know, just turn the whole situation around. Didn't rush the dance, cause experience is the key when you're playing sound system. But I didn't rush it, and I come back that night and everybody was saying, yes, you recapture the night. You know, it never walk over you. So yeah, that was one of my great nights. Also, I had few other nights where I went into the England Championship for revival tunes, where you had like 3,000 DJs from all over the country, from London to all over the country. It was 3,000 DJs. I came second in that with the final. I came second in that. You had to go through. You played rounds in different cities. You just get drawn out of a hat. You could be playing in Huddersfield or wherever it was. I got drawn in Birmingham, and I got drawn in London, and I got drawn in. I think I got drawn in Bradford with my third one, because you had to play 3 rounds. All the DJs played 3 rounds, but you had to come first or second to progress. You know, it took 2 years for the dance to get down to the whittle, but I won all of my rounds right down to the last 10. And what he was just saying there, I got to the final in Wolverhampton, where the BBC wears big coverage, big TVs. I'm second in the final out of 3,000 DJs playing revival reggae music. I came second.
Okay. Now let's talk about the third generation of Junior Blues.
Third generation, yeah. It should have been here, yeah. Yeah, the sound's moved on now. I'm still playing myself, I'm not dead yet. Still playing myself, yeah, but the sound has moved on. Third generation, my son is now take it to another level, take Junior Blues on to another level. More time now, the bashment dances and what. I don't get involved anymore. You know, he takes the sound and goes and plays the sound and entertains, and he's doing a great job. So I hear from people out on the road say, you might take it to a different level. So yeah, the sound has progressed. 50 years the sound has now been playing. So yeah, it's a great thing, and I'm real proud. I'm a one man for giving me life. You know, so yeah, I'm doing something I'm in love. You get me? I'm in love with my father. You get me? And you know, say I'm in love. In grandson, if you know, say I play the song still, you know, and we ain't going nowhere. True. We ain't going nowhere. We're here. True.